All right, and welcome to Christ Media Politics. I am your host for this edition of the show. My name is Robert White, and today is the 22nd of January, 2024. Interesting article that correlated with something I was thinking. And basically, this is about Trump and the dropout from DeSantis. So, um, I originally did not want Trump to run, and I wanted DeSantis. The reason I wanted DeSantis was because he was Trump 2.0, or Trump without the baggage. I'm quoting that. I'm actually paraphrasing that article that I'm going to show you here in a minute. But the idea there was, let's get someone who can get into office for 8 more years, potentially. Let's get someone who's younger, who's spry, who's not going to be, shall we say, um, vulnerable to age, right? And the things that come with being over 70. And let's get someone in there with the youth and who can, DeSantis's campaign was let's lead the great American comeback. Yes. Yeah, I was on board. And, he's my governor. And one of my posts on Facebook was hashtag my president, right? Because I was like, yeah, I'm on board with this guy. I am all in. And then down the line, a couple of things happened. Well, the first thing is he had this mediocre launch on Twitter. At first, I was kind of like, wow, he launched on Twitter. That was smart. I think he did a good job. I think that was a good idea. And then I realized, no, that's not what you do. And he was a little too ahead of the curve. See, what you need is you need to see the audience. You need to be able to hear the speaker, and you need to be able to give an announcement and get a reaction. When Obama walks up on that stage and he says, I'm running for president of the United States, everyone is cheering, and you can pan across the crowd, and you can zoom in on the president, or former president, presidential candidate, and that is what you're going to see. And you're going to have this feeling of like, oh, wow, this guy is serious. And when you have Trump coming down the escalator, right? And then he's smiling and he's waving and that charismatic look about him and that glow. And then he says, I, Donald J. Trump, I'm running for president. We're going to make America great again. Okay. Okay. It's great. That's what they tell me. Everybody. All right. So that's how you do that. On Twitter, it was launch it. It didn't work because they crashed it. Then he had to go to another space. Then he kind of had to be like, I'm Ron DeSantis. I'm leading the great American comeback. I don't make fun of him because I want to single him out. I make fun of Trump. Trump, you can do the greatest impressions of Trump. Okay, it's fun. We all love to do it. Okay. Um, and then the only way to make fun of DeSantis is to hone in on that pitch of his voice. So anyway, but I was a DeSantis supporter. I mean, forgive me, sir, DeSantis, if you ever see this, because I live in Florida. But I wanted Trump 2.0. I did. Maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I should have wanted something else. And you did a good job of trying to distinguish yourself from the pack. But I'm sorry, sir, Governor, with all due respect, uh, MAGA was your crown. I absolutely agree with that. I don't think there's any room for anything other than that. Okay. Because there are some who have the riz and some who don't. There are some who have the charisma and some who don't. You're not necessarily the most charismatic person, with all due respect, Governor. So, I do want to thank the governor for attempting to run. I think for running, he didn't attempt to run, he ran. Um, and I thought, maybe you maybe you just see it till through to the bitter end because it's like, well, what else am I gonna do? Um, Running a campaign is a lot of money. So if you don't have a path forward, as he said, then maybe you don't do it. you have to also listen to your advisors, your supporters, your people, and you're gonna lean in on what they say, and you're also gonna be leaning in to, okay, you know, am I bleeding? Am I hemorrhaging? Can I stop the bleed? Um, can I course correct? Is it not too late to course correct? And so then you start listening to all the people and then some of the talking heads on, social media and then media in general, and then you make your decision. And I respect you, sir, for running for governor. I respect you for what you've done in the state. I thank you for what you have done in regards to parents' rights and, the right to life and the right to keep and bear arms. I respect you immensely for that, and I think you would have done that on a national stage. Very good. And I'm glad you're kicking the CCP out of Florida. You would have made a good American president. I'm happy that you ran for the candidacy. But MAGA was your crown, and I think you missed that. And to all the people who are hating on DeSantis and saying we don't want him back in our state and blah, 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 I do fear for the future of Florida. I hope it stays red. Maybe we'll get some kind of weak red, candidate that won't make the state quite as radical, radical right as they say. I don't believe that, but that's what they say. That's what they say. I didn't say that. That's what they tell me. Okay. So thank you, sir, for an attempt at getting the nomination. Thank you for running. Thank you for all of your hard work. Now, go back to Florida, govern. You've got a couple more years under your belt, Um, and you're gonna do a good job in Florida, and you definitely could get your second chance. Absolutely no doubt about it. I would give you a second chance. No doubt about it. We will see if who the VP pick is. And then after we see who the VP pick is, then we will see if that candidate or if that person is a former presidential candidate. And we will see if he does a good job while he's VP. And then we will see if he helps drain the swamp or if he becomes part of the swamp. And depending on that, we will see a race between possibly a race between the Florida governor and the VP of the Trump administration running yet again. And so let's beat out Nikki Haley. Let's lead the great American comeback now and in 4 years. I'm totally on board with that. I'll say that right now. I support another candidate, which I will get into in another video. But in this case, sir, Governor Ron DeSantis, thank you. And continue to govern Florida with veracity and tenacity, and keep fighting for the Constitution and individual liberty, and lean off your authoritarian tendencies. Other than that, that's all I have to say. And I do thank you for running, because let's say that Trump gets indicted. You could still get the nomination. I don't know. Let's say something crazy happens. You could still be in a cabinet. You could be in a cabinet position. Okay. Let's say something crazy happens and in 4 years you're the president. It's possible. I believe it's possible. So, Governor Ron DeSantis is out. These are kind of this is going to be one of my last closing videos in regards to that, and then we will move forward and we will talk about what the future looks like. This has been Christ Media Politics. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next video.